Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a new snowstorm that is imminent after Thanksgiving. If we take a look here on the GFS, it shows what we have right now. Rain in the east, a cold front coming down from Canada, and a nice high pressure out in the west coast, and a ridge is going to form on the east coast, causing nice rest of the weekend. If we continue here, you can see by Texas and Louisiana a low starts to form and develop. You have cold air from the north coming down, high pressure that is going to bring down the cold, but that's going to evacuate to Maine, and another high pressure that is going to come down south and help this snowstorm begin. If we continue here, the storm tracks from Louisiana all the way up to southern Alabama and into Georgia. As you can see, there's no snow yet, but the cold air is starting to mix in with the storm to the north. And as we continue here, you can see the storm moves into North Carolina, and you can see on the back side of it, there's actually some snow forming into Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. If we continue here to the next slide, the storm goes under rapid intensification, what is called bombogenesis. What is bombogenesis? Bombogenesis is when a popular term which is described the magnitude of a cyclone that rapidly intensifies. Those hurricanes that we had hit Central America intensified quickly, which is also called bombogenesis. Any storm that drops a millibar per hour and strengthens quickly is what it's called bombogenesis. If we take a look back here to the GFS, you see the low is in southern Pennsylvania, right on the border of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. On the backside, the snow is really starting to ramp up because you have the cold air starting to mix with it. So this is what we have right now, the storm track. You have the storm from Louisiana into South Carolina and Georgia, all the way up to Pennsylvania so far. On the eastern side of this, there'll be heavy torrential rainfall coming down, all on the east coast. We could see up to 2 to 3 inches of rain and heavy winds with this storm because it's going to go under rapid intensification. The next slide, you can see the storm moves up into upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania. On the backside, still you have snow into Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Michigan, and Ohio. This storm could drop in places a foot of snow, believe it or not, and it's only the start of December 1st. If you take another look, you could, believe it or not, the storm actually wants to cock back into Michigan and sit over the lakes. This storm does not want to move, and it's going to stick around for a day or two, causing lake effect snow on the backside in Michigan, Cleveland area, Ohio area, and upstate New York, and possibly even into Pennsylvania. This storm is going to strengthen even further down to a 986 millibar storm, deepen the intensity of the wind strength, rain rate, and snow rate. Finally, after a couple more slides, you can see the storm wants to pull out, but not after dropping a couple inches of snow, and even up to feet of snow in a couple parts of the area. If we take another look here, you can see another storm tries to form by the 4th of December. You have a piece of energy down here and another piece of energy up in the Great Lakes. By the time that they form and phase together, they are off the coast, and they don't even phase on this run. The energy's over here, and then the other energy's up over here. Let me clear this out and I'll show you again. The energy is over here and the other energy is up in Canada. They don't phase. On the last run, if I could show you, if I clear this out real quick, previous run actually showed a big storm up in parts of the US. Another bombogenesis storm, believe it or not, for parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. But on this run, it doesn't show anything. If you take a look at the Canadian model, you can see it almost shows the same thing. You have ridging out in the west, and you see the storm form in Louisiana, go up to North Carolina, and you see the snow again on the backside of the storm by Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. You can see the storm takes a more easterly track. Instead of sitting in southeast Pennsylvania, it sits in northeast Pennsylvania with a lot of rain for the coast. The next slide shows heavy rain for Long Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, and Maine, and New Hampshire. But you also see more snow on the back. Not as intensive and extensive as the GFS, but it shows a lot of snow still. It shows the storm wants to cock back into the Great Lakes and into Canada and leave a lot of lake effect snow. On this model run, it actually shows a storm forming for the Northeast. There's not a lot of cold air, but it actually shows some snow for Nashville, Tennessee, West Virginia, Alabama, and West Virginia, just to name some places. If we continue, we can see the storm eventually pull out, and then more cold air comes in. That has been the trend as lately. More cold air and more snow. If you take a look on not the Canadian, the European model, it actually shows a storm forming and actually goes into Tennessee this time instead of going into North Carolina, so more westerly track, and shows more rain with the system. More rain and more warm air than cold. At least on this run actually shows more the storm staying in the same spot for a couple of days. Right by the Great Lakes, and it shows a lot of lake effect coming with this storm. And then you have another storm that it comes up here. More southern track than the Canadian model, but actually shows more cold air with this storm. If this were to move more north, you have a lot of snow for the Great Lakes, with more lake effect coming down, and for the coastal areas, you could have a cheap thrill of snow. If you take a look at the snowfall map here for the European, it shows a good amount of snow. It shows, at least for the Great Lakes, possibly even up to 8 inches. In parts of Michigan, up to close to 2 feet of snow. Parts of Ohio, most of Ohio is more than 5 inches of snow here, and most parts of Indiana as well is more than 6 inches, believe it or not. Then you have this pocket on the border of Ohio, Indiana, of 15 to 20 inches of snow here. If we take a look back to the GFS here and take a look at the total snowfall here, you can also see it shows the same thing as the European. A lot of snow for parts of the Great Lakes region. A lot of snow for Ohio. There's a 13-inch print right here in this green area. Anywhere in the green is above a foot, so you have pockets of Michigan, Indiana, and even into Pennsylvania and New York. Anywhere in the light blue is 3 inches, and anywhere in the very dark blue is only a coating, to barely an inch, I would say. So this is my preliminary snowfall map. It's nothing crazy yet because there's not enough information here. This black line is the track of the storm I believe it will take. This red L is low pressure. In this light blue and gray, you'll have mountain snow. Anywhere in the dark blue, you'll have anywhere from around an inch or two. I'm probably going to have to increase this from what the new model runs have been showing. And then anywhere in this purplish color, you have greater than 4 inches of snow. Anywhere in the pink, where around the lakes, is lake effect snow, where anywhere from 2 to 8 inches is possible with this system. This system is going to stick around by the lakes, and then the winds are going to force the snow to come off the lakes. The warm lakes with cold snow means a lot of snow for the upstate New York, upstate Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and even into Indiana region. This storm is going to go under bombogenesis, and then we have to look next week to see another possible storm form due to the more stormy pattern and colder pattern. That is it for today, guys. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and have a good one.